He does a lot of daydreaming.
Hi guys, my name is Miller and welcome to a new season video of CSR 2. In today's video, I'll discuss the most important cars and events for this season, followed by some extra information that has risen since yesterday on the 2.6 update, including temporary max start times of the cars. Also, I have footage of the cars which I didn't have yesterday as they were hidden, but available in game, and on top of that I'll show you guys something quite surprising at the end as well on a small change since the update. But before we start on all that information and such, the usual claiming of the car. The Shelby Super Snake is a beast of a car based on a 2019 Mustang model. I'm almost 100% sure it is the white body version, but in general it can be said that it looks quite thick. For many it might be a dust collector though, for the simple fact that fusion parts are hard to get, with Shelby being a rather new manufacturer into the game. The Shelby should be able to run faster than 7.74, which in my opinion is slightly disappointing, as I expected it to be closer to the Shelby GT500, which can do a lower 7.6. The upside of the Shelby being a milestone car is that you get milestone crates now giving Shelby fusion parts, which can help upgrade your AC Cobra a bit more in case you're stuck in the Legend storyline due to the lack of fusion parts. I don't directly see any plans for the future for this car yet to become an Evo Cup of some sort, maybe a future Duality Cup or a Golden Cup. Keep it somewhere. If you're a newer player it might be worth it to upgrade it, but for me, for now, I will put it in my American garage and leave it completely bare stock. Now the season car, and this one is a very interesting one. The Chevrolet Copo Camaro is not just another Camaro in the game, it is the fastest free to get car we've had so far. Some background first. The Copo Camaro is a drag spec Camaro with the production limited to only 69 cars as a reference to the year 1969 when the Copo program was introduced. Now 50 years later, the Copo name has become quite popular in the American drag environment. The car is driven by an all-aluminum 427 naturally aspired engine, just like the special 50th anniversary version, which has a competition package including the parachutes in the back and the wheelie bars to make it a real drag spec car. This means that potentially in the future we could get an Evo Cup with as reward the 50 years anniversary version, which will be even faster than the current one. The season price car is in this orange to my surprise. I expected it to be more like the iconic white or blue, but with the blue being used on the special 50 years anniversary version, orange doesn't seem too bad of a choice. And the milestone spec will be in darker red, and you can get it if your crew reaches 20 million RP. As it's a drag spec car, it has to be a rather fast car in game too, as it's after all a drag racing game. And trust me, it really is very fast. The milestone spec you see here is capable of running a lower 7.2, making it the fastest ever milestone car ahead of the Zenvo TS1 GT by over a tenth of a second, making it also the only ever milestone car to be able to go sub 7.3. My best run with it so far has been a 7.229. It must be said though that this run was with a needle drop at the perfect start and the shift pattern is rather odd, so it could even be a sub 7.2 car after all. I tried messing around with it, but to no avail. Only a perfect start gives it 7.2 and a perfect start gives a needle drop. Side note, with its 3 gears it is one of the easiest cars to shift out there too if you are able to get the shift pattern, so it's a win all around if you can get it maxed out. Now we have a drag spec challenger with the HPE 1200 and the Camaro with the Copo. The only one remaining would be the Mustang. And when I think of Mustang and drag, I think of the Mustang Cobra Jet. The Cobra Jet celebrated its 50th anniversary last year, so who knows, it might come to the game at some point. Prestige car, the Celine S1, a former milestone car from season 61, and back then the introduction of a new manufacturer, and I am still to this point not really convinced of the design of the car. It seems so 90s-ish, not really 2018. Anyways, it's another hard Prestige Cup, making it now 3 in a row, but I assume it will be slightly easier as it's a car that potentially more people have, and Celine parts are kind of more common than either the Alpine or the Grand Cherokee parts. Maxed out, this car is supposed to be able to run on 7.857, making it not only the second fastest 4-star car in game, behind the Sesto Elemento, but also the fastest ever Prestige car, and fastest ever car to win in a 10 times drop rate on silver crates. Also, I've heard about a special spec being in the crates, which will have the same paint and rim color combination as the original S7, so they would look great when putting them together in the garage. And then imagine if they'll add the newly announced 1500 brake horsepower 2020 Celine S7 Le Mans edition. Those three in a row next to each other would be the ultimate collection piece. This car can most likely also help you through the Tempest series if you have the fusion parts for it. And if you want to upgrade your Celine S7 a bit more, there will be prestige crates giving out some nice Celine fusion parts when the Prestige Cup launches next week Thursday. Long story short, fastest ever milestone car and fastest ever prestige car in one season? Now this one is definitely one you do not want to miss out on. Now update talks. In case you missed it, I put out a video yesterday with a majority of the information on the 2.6 update. But now, 24 hours later, we got some more information and some new footage. I must say though, I was not able to extract all this myself and I did need some help from Asho for this, but keep in mind I do not condone hacking or modding, so don't come ask me anything about this. I only use this account for video purposes, and after this, the video, basically, it will be put away and done with. So yesterday I was missing some footage of some cars, as they were initially hidden, which was quite odd. The max start times I'll mention in the video are from a different source, as I didn't get them maxed out and I couldn't fiddle around with it myself, so these can still be improved. The first two cars are the Mazda RX7 with the Fortune wheelside body kit, and this game does the body kit fully right. It looks stunning as usual. To my surprise, it's a tier 5 car. I would have perhaps expected it to be higher end tier 4, but as a heftier engine can be found in the engine bay compared to the other RX7s we have already in game, it is understandable it would be a tier 5 car. Performance wise, it is expected to run just over 7.9, and if you are struggling with Tempest 3 tier 1 with the Mazda MX-5, the duplicate fusion parts you'll get from the crates can actually have a new purpose. But it will be for hard cash to get this RX7. The other Fast and the Furious car I couldn't extract from the files yesterday to show you guys is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7 with the DEMD body kit. This one is from my favorite movie of the franchise, being Too Fast Too Furious, and it's kind of a car you either like or dislike, but without doubt in general the Lancer Evo series is a series with a major fanbase, and it's nice to finally see one come to the game. And it could open doors to seeing maybe other Evos being added in the future. The livery looks absolutely stunningly replicated into the game like we can usually expect from the car team. And by the way, did you know that the livery on the car represents a wheel arch of a certain car? If you look closely, you can recognize the back fender of a specific model. Can you guess which one it is? Let me know down below. So it's a tier 4 car, and performance wise it can be said it will be higher end tier 4 with a 10.1, but this is not guaranteed yet. Like mentioned earlier, the Supra is not in this update yet, but according to my man Asho, there seem to be pieces of code mentioning the F-Bomb Camaro, which could be the 5th and final car that we might need for the finale to get the Supra in perhaps 2.7. Now onto the non-Fast and Furious cars that I wasn't able to show yesterday. First, the season price cars. Yes, Aston Martin Zagato, and as expected in red for the season price car. It's a tier 5 car to my surprise, as I expected it to be a tier 4 car, and it's just plain gorgeous, man, I love it. So why it isn't shown in the showroom seems to be still unclear. The Gold Star version you see here is not the milestone spec, but a possible variant, which is still classy. The milestone spec is expected to be dark blue, but if they bring out an Evo Cup or other type of cup of some sort to win the shooting break in red, you would want the collection to be with the same color, so I think this is a card worth going for in the top 10, if you can of course. Also, the milestone spec doesn't have these nice golden accents, and performance wise, the Zagato is expected to run an 8.1, but again, this can also be a dyno crushing car we don't know of yet. The other hidden car was a 911 Speedster, and as hoped, the season spec comes with a special 70th anniversary livery with a number 48, basically referring to the year 1948, when it all began, so 2018 minus 70 basically. It looks good for sure, even the red milestone version looks amazing. And as expected, a tier 5 car. Performance wise, it's slightly faster than Zagato with an 8.0, but perhaps not top tier 5, but better than mid-range can be said, maybe. Kind of disappointed, expected 7.8, but we have to wait and see till we can actually run the car itself. Maybe it could even be a 7.7 car. Now a car which will surprise many, as it isn't listed anywhere basically. The Masanti Evantra 1000 Cavalli, loving the name by the way. A new manufacturer and only existing in purple stars, indicating it to be a flash event car, most likely. but it isn't mentioned in the metadata or their blog post, so will it have any event? Is anything linked to it? I have no idea. We have 2 Evo Cups waiting for us, a Duality Cup and 2 Fast and the Furious events over a span of 6 weeks, so I doubt a flash event will fit somewhere in there. So maybe one ready for in the far distance in the future. I don't know, all I know is that it will definitely be a paid car, and with a flash event it will also cost a lot of money for the crates to upgrade it. And it's a pretty fast car with a 7.18 dyno, which could bring it into the GTX and Zona Revolution territory, which I like to see as I prefer many cars bunched up together with roughly the same times over cars going significantly faster like we have with the Tuatara at the moment. But yeah, long story short, this Mille is really liking this 1000 cavalli. Now the remaining cars of the update and their respective potential performances. We got the ARC Performance Hyundai Veloster currently sitting at a 9.5, kind of slower than my expectations of it to challenge the box than the Alpine. But at the end it's still a dumb bucket for our Hyundai Fusion parts and it looks great, so woohoo! Then a Tier 3 BMW Z4 M40i, a Tier 3 BMW Roadster which is faster than I expected it to be. Expected an 8.5, turns out to be in sub 8.2, so between high to mid-range let's say, but let's wait and see how this will age. Style wise I kinda like the car and I can't wait to add it to my collection. And then the Porsche GT2 RS, which isn't the Weissach package and a Gold Star, making it a tad slower on the dyno with a 7.970. But perhaps it has some dyno beating potential just like his big brother which can run full 3/10 sub dyno. Time will tell once more. Now the final one is a big surprise to many, but at least to me. I just mentioned it in my last livestream as well, which is a pure coincidence. The SLR 722 McLaren is finally back in the game, but it's not winnable sadly. First, some background on why it's back and not considered as a new car. Back in 2016, boss cars looked completely different. Originally, Larry, the first day 5 boss you face in the build up to get Jacques Koenigsegg Agera S, drove an SLR 722 McLaren, a car which couldn't be obtained, legitimately at least. With the implementation of the Tempest system, the car was changed, sadly, into the GTA Spano, and the car disappeared. Now the car is back, but again as a boss car used by Victor now as the 4th boss in a Tier 5 build-up. He used to run a Jaguar CX-75, but that one became a milestone car, and now it has been replaced by the SLR McLaren, which then could potentially mean it will become a Tempest 4 price car for Tier 5 if Tempest 4 ever comes. But long story short, it's back, it's gorgeous, and for now there's no way you'll get it. But I do hope in the future we will. So that's all, again lengthy video but filled with information to brag to your crewmates about that you might know and clarify some items that we didn't know yesterday. If you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this. My name is Mille, see you around and keep racing. Thanks for watching by the way, especially for sticking out till the end. Mad respect.